welcome everyone. Before you panic and freak out, oh my god, he made Tapu Fini bulkier, he buffed it, he gave it a recovery move, what the hell is going on? Calm down. These buffs and changes are not intended for competitive use whatsoever. And even if they were, there are so many better, stronger, crazier Water Fairy type walls in this hack. Not that Fini's bad, because it's not, and obviously Misty Surge has use in competitive, but in-game, status is not the most relevant thing. All Pokemon are optimized to have two crazy useful abilities for the most part. So Misty Surge is a bit of a wasted slot, sadly. It's useful, with Parting Shot for like certain boss fights to decrease Dragon type moves on your allies, because Dragon type moves and dragons in general are a lot stronger, especially for the post-game boss fights. Misty Surge would be pretty useful, but otherwise it's mostly useless. It's useful for overriding other terrains. If the AI is using a terrain strategy against you, you can override that with Misty Surge, but in general, your main ability is going to be Fairy Aura, which is just a nice boosting ability that fits Fini pretty well, makes their 95 special attack a lot better. And yeah, like I said, there's way bulkier shit in this hack. Tons of new moves are really helpful, though. For Fini, it is the last of the 4 Tapus you'll be able to catch, because the first 2 you can get on the first 2 hours, but they'll be level 40, so you'll be able to use all 3 by the time you hit level 40 for the most part. Fini, however, will be probably the first island scan on Pony Island, so, a bit of a little bit of a gap for Fini, which is fine. I mean, it's the most boring to use of the 3 in-game anyways. It's just a bulky thing that does nothing. I mean, it does a lot. It's strong. Okay, let me rephrase. I think it is just my bias showing. I don't really like Tapu Fini too much. It's kind of boring. It's a cute design. It's a pretty Pokemon, but I don't know. Not super keen on it. But I didn't stop me from giving good buffs. So Fini and Bulu both have 100 base HP. Bulu is just because he's huge. He's like by far he's like double the size of the other 3. Fini is actually the same size as Coco and Lele, and I try to base HP more on size, but I did want to keep all of them having the same stat distribution. So originally I had, I believe, 85 HP, 100 special attack, and 95 speed. That's what I had originally, because I do want to keep the same stat distribution for all 4 of the Tapus. When I say stat distribution, I mean the same stats, just put into different numbers. No, same numbers put into different stats. All right, so this is cool though. I like this distribution. I think that high HP does fit, even though they are not that big, just because they're like this legendary healer type Pokemon. The Pokedex still does say that they are because they're like these Hawaiian guardian deities, they still are assholes, and they can still be like ruthless and rude or cruel. So that's why they still have Parting Shot and all these other good moves, Nasty Pot as well. However, setting up and sweeping in game is a lot less optimal than it used to be. I would say you would probably be better off using Fini as for certain fights you can use like Scarf Fairy Aura plus like Flare Cannon or Radiant Outburst to kill something, but in general you're probably just gonna be using this thing as like a bulky sponge that can also deal some damage back, and it has team support with Parting Shot and screens and all this other fun stuff. And then it has good coverage, Aura Sphere, Ice Beam, Energy Ball, Psychic, Shadow Ball, and then you have your dual stabs, which are very strong with Fairy Aura, and just higher base power moves, all this crazy stuff. Keep in mind, by the way, if you are new here and you're just clicking on this video expecting some type of Fini competitive analysis, to check out the moves in the description. There is a link to a sheet where I have changed and buffed 600 plus moves, and I put them all into several different categories for your viewing convenience, so please do give those a look. The link is right in the description. It took me a lot of time to make that, so please don't let it go to waste. Yeah, Aromatic Mist is pretty great utility. That drops attack and special attack by 2. Parting Shot, obviously great utility on them. Haze is priority, so that's really nice for totems especially. Otherwise, the AI won't be boosting up too much, but it's nice as a little stopgap if you're worried about that, or you see for a specific boss fight that they do have a setup Pokemon, but in general, they won't. Setup PP is also nerfed, which is actually better for the AI, because then they won't spam it. For example, Nasty Pot and Swords Dance only have 1 PP, so that means the AI will click it once and never use it again, which is good for them. It's better for them than it is for the player, obviously. But yeah, in general, it's just got high base power moves later on. It's got good coverage, good utility. It's really bulky. The stats fit pretty well. Misty Surge is still useful. You do have that infinite usability capsule, so you can swap between it. You can run a speedier Scarf set for some fights. You can run a full bulk HP defense or special defense set. You can run HP special attack for some fights, would be a bulkier attacker. It really just depends on what you need for that boss fight. You should be changing your EV spreads for all your Pokemon pretty frequently. And same with your TMs and tutor moves and abilities slots, although with Tapu Fini, Misty Surge is very situational, because again, preventing status in game is not the most useful thing. Like, it's nice, certain trainers will have like Will-O-Wisp on some of their Pokemon maybe, or moves that have a high chance of like statusing, so it would be nice to remove that hacks chance. But in general, Misty Surge's main uses in game are overriding other terrains and having the damage of dragon moves for your teammates. That's the main use of Misty Surge. I wanted to give Tapu Fini Drizzle, so that way all 4 had like boosting abilities, but Lumineon has Drizzle, and that's another Water Fairy type, and I didn't want to have Tapu Fini just be better than Minion, so I didn't do that. But Fairy Aura is still pretty cool. Really good boost. It's 1.95 with stab, so that makes your 95 special attack a lot better. 95 special attack is like nothing for those hack standards. I mean, it's good. Don't like it. When I say nothing, I mean there's other things that are way stronger, but it doesn't change how strong that is, if that makes sense. Like things with 70 base special defense are still going to take the same amount of damage from 95 as they would before. So I don't want to like make it sound like these guys are weaker. It's just the other things are stronger. Yeah, excuse me for like all these gross sick noises. I'm pretty sick right now, so I don't really know what else to say, honestly. I mean, Draining Kiss is nice. Calm Mind for certain boss fights is nice with Iron Defense. However, you do have to keep in mind that a lot of moves in this hack also have guaranteed crit rates. So there's a lot of ways that the AI will punish setup. Moves that always crit, phasing moves that have priority, like Haze, Whirlwind, Roar, which only have 3 PP, Topsy-Turvy, Heart Swap, etc., even Spectral Thief on all physical ghost types. All those things will punish setup, but also just flat out moves that always crit, as well as priority moves. Every single Pokemon in the game, for the most part, has priority moves, usually several. In this case, you have Bubble Shot and Pixie Dust. So those will punish faster offensive setup sweepers, and then the crit moves will punish bulkier setup sweepers. And then First Impression punishes everything, so that punishes both fast and slow setup sweepers in general. So, because you can't even use Protect on it anymore. So, yeah, all right. I think I'm gonna leave the video off there, though. Just very, very, very straightforward buffs for Tapu Fini. Lastly, I'll say that it is caught at level 40 instead of level 5, like most Pokemon, which means that you will be missing out on a lot of moves. So I'll probably end up giving it like Aromatic Mist, Moonlight, and then I don't know, for maybe Radiant Edge. I feel like the most useful moves that you would want would be like, or at least that you can't get from TMs or at level 45 with Moonblast would be like Aromatic Mist, Moonlight, Draining Kiss, and like either Haze or Withdraw or one of the priority moves. That's probably the 4 moves it'll have when you catch it. Because most Pokemon, like I said, are caught at level 5, so you can Red Canyon them up and just choose the moves as you level up. But for these guys, you can't do that because of the whole level 40 thing, which is so that way you don't get the first 2 way too early. You know, you don't catch fucking Tapu Koko on Element Island at level 5, for example. But yeah, and then also this makes them all not post-game. Yes, this technically means that there will be 2 Tapus in the game. Don't think about it too hard. Don't think about it too hard. All right, it's a cool ROM hack. I want everybody to be able to use cool fucking legendaries. It's not that deep. Yes, it is kind of weird that there's 2 Tapus technically in that case, but again, it's optional. Honestly, it's optional. So if you don't want them, just don't use it, and then now the story progresses as normal. Otherwise, though, Aurora Beam and Water Pulse dropping attack and special attack is really nice for Fini as well. That's really nice for in-game again, because when you get a stat drop on the opponent, it's permanent unless they either crit through it, which is relatively common, or they Parting Shot or U-turn or Volt Switch out. Otherwise, it's permanent. So it's basically like a permanent debuff, which is really nice. Soak, good for totems especially. Z-Soak will give you +2 special attack, but mostly just Soak in general is good for totems to remove their stab. Yeah, I don't really know what else to say. It's got high base power stab, Slur Cannon, Hydro Cannon, drop your special attack stat by 2. Eternal Beam's good. Radiant Outburst is even stronger than Flare Cannon. In exchange for having less PP and dropping your special attack more. Whirlpool, really, really cool for residual damage on a stallier Pokemon like this. It's just a good Pokemon. I don't know what else to say. Other Water Fairies it does compete with, but I think the other Water Fairies, I just fucking clicked Fortnite by accident. I haven't even played that game in forever. God damn it. Hoping it doesn't lag the recording. I am recording, right? Yes, I am. So, oh my god, screw off. I closed it, we're good. So I wanted to look at my list of my notes and look at all of the Water Fairies real quick. So, come on, I have a list. Yeah, so it's Primarina, Azumarill, Fini, Milotic, Luvdisc, Alomomola, Laminion, Orbis. No, Corbus is Water Psychic now. This is old. Keldeo, Resolute, and that's it. So there's actually not as many as I thought, but it's still a good amount. And all of them are stronger than Fini. Fini is by far the weakest. I guess Alomomola is the weakest, actually, in terms of damage output. But of course, Alomomola is absolutely... Alomomola and Luvdisc are both really bulky utility Pokemon that also aren't super weak anyways. But yeah, Fini's a great Pokemon as always. Thank you so much for listening. Hopefully you enjoyed it. I'll be back for more buffs and changes coming up. Ultra Beasts coming up. I'm hyped for those. Those are going to be sick.